From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Sunday surprised the Filipino community in Singapore as he made an unannounced visit to a mall. The president arrived at Lucky Plaza Mall at around noon to meet overseas Filipino workers or OFWs who usually gather at the popular mall along Orchard Road in Singapore. According to the Presidential Communications Office or PCO, the OFWs whom the chief executive met felt honored that the president made time to visit them. They also expressed their continued support for the Marcos administration, saying they are satisfied with the current outcome and changes in the Philippines. Another migrant worker expressed excitement over meeting President Marcos, saying it is a rare opportunity to see a president in person. President Marcos delivered a speech at the Milken Institute's Asia Summit in Singapore, where he discussed priority policies and programs before economic managers and business leaders. During his stay, he also met with officials of India's GMR, who expressed their interest in investing in Philippines' airports, roads, and energy projects. Singapore's multinational technology company, Dyson, also committed 11 billion pesos worth of investment for the Philippines in the next 2 years. Likewise, Malaysian retail specialist Valiram Group is looking at expanding its operations in the Philippines by developing airport outlets for duty-free retail tourism.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine House of Representatives Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez on Sunday said that the proposed 5.768 trillion peso national budget would be approved without delay before Congress goes on recess from September 30th to November 5th. In a news release, Speaker Romualdez said that they will begin plenary deliberations on the proposed national budget on Tuesday, September 19th. The House Speaker said that they will work throughout the day on Tuesday as well as on Thursday and Friday in order to meet their timeline, adding that the bill is the most important piece of legislation Congress will pass each year. Romualdez said the measure will help sustain the country's recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, create more income and job opportunities for the Filipino people, and improve their quality of life. Budgets of the Department of Finance, Department of Tourism, and National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA, including their attached agencies and certain offices under the Office of the President or OP, are up for plenary debates on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the House will tackle the budgets for the Ombudsman, Commission on Elections, Commission on Human Rights, Department of National Defense, Department of Science and Technology, Department of Trade and Industry, and more OP agencies. The House will scrutinize on Thursday the spending proposals of the Judiciary, Department of Justice, Department of Agrarian Reform, Presidential Communications Office, Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, and state universities and colleges. Friday will see the chamber considering the budgets of Congress, Department of Social Welfare and Development, Department of Information and Communications Technology, Department of Migrant Workers, Department of Labor and Employment, and Department of the Interior and Local Government, including their attached agencies, and funding support for several government corporations. On September 25th, it will be the turn of the budgets of the Civil Service Commission, Commission on Audit, Department of Energy, Department of Agriculture, Department of Health, and additional OP agencies. Proposed appropriations for the OP, Office of the Vice President, Department of Education, Metro Manila Development Authority, Dangerous Drugs Board, remaining OP agencies, Department of Public Works and Highways, and the Department of Environment and Natural Resources will be tackled on September 26th. Proposed budgets of the Department of Foreign Affairs, Department of Transportation, Department of Budget and Management, and lump sum appropriations will be tackled on the last day of plenary debates on September 27th. The proposed budget will also address inflation, protect the purchasing power of Filipino families, and address the constraints to invest and inclusive economic growth, according to the NEDA. If necessary, the House of Representatives can still hold sessions until September 29th.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang over the weekend condemned the assassination of lawyer Maria Sanyata Gonzalez Alzate in Bangued, Abra Province, and vowed to obtain justice for the family. In a statement, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin said, "Hot pursuit operations are ongoing to find Alzate's killers." Bersamin also extended Malacañang's message of sympathy to Alzate's family. He said, "Alzate's death is a tragedy as well for the good province of Abra and for the legal profession." Bersamin also paid tribute to Alzate for working tirelessly both as a public interest lawyer and as a commissioner of bar discipline. Alzate was in her car parked just in front of her house along Santiago Street in Zone 3 town when she was shot multiple times by unidentified assailants on Thursday. She was declared dead on arrival at Ceres Memorial Hospital at about 4:55 in the afternoon. She is survived by her husband, Rafael, a former acting presiding judge of the Cabugao, Ilocos Sur, and Bukay, Abra Regional Trial Courts, and their 4 sons. The Integrated Bar of the Philippines called on the National Bureau of Investigation, the Philippine National Police, and all concerned agencies to conduct a comprehensive investigation into Alzate's killing, as well as all other unresolved cases targeting lawyers. A police special investigation task group was immediately organized to solve the killing.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang on Saturday announced that Malaysian retail specialist Valiram Group is eyeing the expansion of its operations in the Philippines by developing airport outlets for duty-free retail tourism. In a statement, Presidential Communications Office, or PCO Secretary Cheloy Garafil said that the commitment was made during the meeting of Valiram Group officials with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in Singapore on Saturday. Present during the meeting with the President were Valiram Group Executive Directors Mukesh Valiram, Ashvin Valiram, and Sharan Valiram, Esquire Financing Chairperson and Chief Executive Officer Rahan Uttamchandani, and Ayala Corporation Chief Sustainability and Risk Officer Jaime Zobel Orquijo, according to the PCO. Citing the statement of one of the Valiram executives, Garafil said, the Malaysian retail specialist is seeking the immediate expansion of its operations in the Philippines in the next 5 years. Garafil said Valiram wants to bring some of its brands that are not yet represented in the Philippines in an effort to elevate customer experience to another level by giving them more space at the nation's gateways, removing the stress and hassles of security checks. President Marcos acknowledged the vital role of retail business in the Philippine economy, adding that Valiram could also help boost the country's tourism industry. Philippine officials who were at the meeting included Garafil, House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, Special Advisor on Investment and Economic Affairs Secretary Frederick Go, and Philippine Ambassador to Singapore Medardo Antonio Macaraig. Established in 1935 in Kuala Lumpur, Valiram is Southeast Asia's leading luxury goods and retail specialist with presence in Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Australia, the Philippines, Thailand, Hong Kong, Macau, and Vietnam. Operating more than 350 stores and growing, the group represents more than 200 brands across various categories, from fashion and accessories, timepieces and jewelry, perfume and cosmetics to confectionery and dining concepts.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang on Saturday said that the commitment of Singapore-based multinational technology firm Dyson to invest about 11 billion pesos in the Philippines is expected to generate more than 1,000 jobs by 2024. In a statement, Presidential Communications Office or PCO Secretary Cheloy Garafil said that Dyson executives met with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in Singapore on Saturday and pledged an investment over the next 2 years. Citing a Dyson official, Garafil said, the investment plan would be used for the establishment of a new factory and a new research and development center in the Philippines, as well as for the expansion of the company's staff, software, and other services. To date, Dyson only has a factory in the Philippines to produce its electrical motors. Dyson decided 3 or 4 months ago to expand its operations in the country. President Marcos said Dyson's investment commitment would be very interesting for the Philippines as it translates into the hiring of more software engineers and other engineering graduates. He assured its officials that they made the right decision.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippines Western Command, or WESCOM, on Saturday expressed alarm over the heightened presence of Chinese maritime militia vessels and the case of massive coral harvesting along Rosul, or Iroquois Reef, which is located within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, or EEZ, and continental shelf. In a weekly news forum in Quezon City, WESCOM Commander Vice Admiral Alberto Carlos reported the resurgence of swarming incidents in the West Philippine Sea, or WPS, noting that about 40 Chinese fishing vessels, or CFVs, have been spotted as of September 15th in Rosul Reef, which is located south of Recto Bank. Carlos said the latest figure is higher is higher compared to the 33 vessels spotted on August 24th and the 24 tracked on September 7th. Swarming was also observed in Escoda or Sabina Shoal, where 5 CFVs were spotted, and in Baragatan or Nares Bank with 2 CFVs. The Vice Admiral, however, said that the good news is that vessels from the Philippine Navy or PN and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources or BFAR is also there. Carlos noted that in July, the PN deployed its divers to conduct an underwater survey in the swarmed area and found that there were no more corals in Rosul Reef. The military is coordinating with the scientists and experts to assess the area, he said, adding that it specifically wants to verify the divers' assessment that massive harvesting of corals happened just recently. Despite the recent incidents, Carlos said, government troops wants to keep the peace and avoid miscalculation in the WPS. He guaranteed a heightened military presence in the Philippine waters.
Dateline Malacañang.
It is prepared to deploy a contingent to help in the ongoing rescue and relief efforts in Morocco, which is reeling from the effects of a magnitude 6.8 earthquake that destroyed communities and killed nearly 3,000 people. In a statement, OCD Administrator Undersecretary Ariel Nepomuceno said, he wants to assure Morocco that the Philippines is more than willing to extend assistance to support the ongoing response operations. Nepomuceno said the OCD, as the executive arm of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, is already making arrangements and is looking into the possible deployment of the Philippine Interagency Humanitarian Contingent, or PIAHC, to Morocco, where search, rescue, and retrieval operations are still ongoing. The contingent will consist of personnel from the OCD, 525th Engineering Combat Battalion of the Philippine Army, 505th Search and Rescue Group of the Philippine Air Force, Bureau of Fire Protection Special Rescue Unit, Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, Davao Rescue 911, and the Department of Health. In February this year, the Philippines sent an 82-man PIAHC to Turkey to assist in the response operations of the quake-ravaged country. The magnitude 7.8 earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria left 50,228 deaths and 125,857 injured individuals. This contingent assisted in medical and search, rescue, and retrieval operations. Meanwhile, Nepomuceno, who is also NDRRMC Executive Director, said, the earthquake in Morocco is a stark reminder for all to continuously prepare against the threat of earthquakes, especially the big ones. He called on the general public and other stakeholders to actively take part in the government's earthquake resilience endeavors.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, we would like to invite everyone to come and visit our Facebook page at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, This is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.